Hey, great Thursday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Good evening, Erasmo. It is a beautiful day. It has been a beautiful day so far. Um, wrapping up the week. Today's show should be very good. Very very informative. I'm glad we have the mayor on tonight. So thank you for having me, Erasmo. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you, man. And very honored to have the mayor of city of Brownsville come on. And the mayor was finishing off one of his many meetings that he actually does have throughout the city. Very, very busy man, the mayor of the city of Brownsville. Very, very proud that he actually grants us, those very precious minutes that he has. And I think his other meeting's over. He's coming on. Let's bring him on. Hey, Mayor, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Wow, you didn't tell me this is a formal event.
Hey, sir. When we're going to have the mayor of the city of Brownsville on, gotta comb the hair, brush
Wow.
the teeth.
I'm so used
I
to
finally.
being despeinados and everything. I just wanted to get in.
Well, you know what's funny, Mayor?
You told me.
Actually, I saw your page
Uh,
this after. Well, I can't remember, a little whiles ago, and I saw the Brownsville Strong shirt that you're wearing now, and I thought, damn! I said, let me go. So I ran off to Juices to go pick one up, and but they didn't have one in my size. I was like, oh,
extra small.
yeah, of course. They didn't have one in my size, but it's a beautiful shirt, Mayor.
It is actually. It's really cool. And I've been using the phrase Brownsville Strong since the beginning, and I'm glad somebody finally decided to put on a shirt, and it looks great. And I'm glad Juices did it.
I'm glad too. And actually, I think that Juices, like other small business here in the city of Brownsville, have actually become very, very creative in regards to finding different ways to supplement a lot of the the income loss that they've had.
Am I good lighting wise, or should I move to another room? How are we doing?
No, it's good.
Okay.
You're good.
All right.
Mayor, you always look good, sir.
I try, sir.
Yeah, good evening, guys, and folks coming in. That's Frankie. We are. Qué guapos, ya ves, Mayor? Qué guapos. Saludos a todos. Great job to our very own mayor, Orfa, amazing Orfa from Porter High School. Trey's drinking vodka. Don't let him fool you.
This is actually Tehuacan. Have you tried that?
Oh my gosh, it is really, really good.
Tamarindo one. It's really good.
Well, let's get down to business. Again, we don't want to keep you too long. We need you to get back to work, sir. and we know that
I've been going all day. This is really the first break I get, and for me, no, really, I enjoy being on. So it's kind of relaxing. So I'm always glad to be on. So whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I'm very proud. Again, and I completely understand that as is the job of being mayor of the city of Brownsville is a 24/7 job. More so, I would say, in the past couple of months because of what has hit the city of Brownsville, not just the city of Brownsville, the entire world. But with that said, Mayor, yesterday we did see one of our most amazing days in the city of Brownsville in regards to the numbers. And I think one of the things that we've been talking about in the past couple of weeks is, the numbers are very, very telling. And, we've gone on different spiels in regards to what they tell us. And every time we've had someone on, we had Dr. Mario Cerdan yesterday, who sends his regards, Mayor. He knew you were coming on today.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me switch sides here.
Yes.
See if maybe we get a little bit better lighting here. I think so.
Perfect.
I wanted to make sure we saw the Dollar General brand Lysol spray here too.
You should have done that profile picture with a Lysol can like that. You actually have it there.
Yeah.
So, and we've been asking everyone what the mayor, what do the numbers tell you, Mayor?
Well, the numbers right now, the most common comment that I get on my posts is people want to start doing math, right? They want to start doing percentages and all sorts of things like that. But the reality right now is, as of this morning, I just got a text a while ago that we've got nine positives today. But the number as of this morning was, I think we had about 2,058 people that had been tested, and we had 212 positives. So Doesn't take any sort of math genius to know that that's a little bit more than 10%. And then if you're doing the 2,058 and you determine how many people are in Brownsville, about 185,000 counted, then we're a little bit more than 1% of the total population that's been tested, right? So people starting to say 0.001% of the population, all sorts of stuff. Well, that's not even right. First of all, when you divide up, you got to multiply by 100, then you get the true percentage. But we're only dealing with 1% of the population that's actually been tested. So the numbers are telling me they're going up. This past week, we had 3 or 4 days that are 3 or 4 days of the top that we've had, right? I think 3 out of the highest 4 days that we've had, numbers-wise, occurred over the last week. So it's definitely not going down. It's only going up. And somebody wanted to kind of challenge that we're doing more testing. And that's actually not right. We're not doing any more testing yet. We've been pretty much doing flat testing, or it's maybe gone down just a bit. And I was going to give you 1 second. I hear a beeping from the washer. I got to go turn it off.
Yeah, go. And actually, well, the mayor's gone away from us. The numbers have come in. We do have one more confirmed death coming out of Windsor Atrium out in Harlingen. We have 1, 2, 3, the 9 positives that the mayor had just mentioned. They have come in. I think we have 2 coming in from Harlingen, 1 a community, 1 a link to the other one, and 2 from Los Fresnos. And I think one of the things that is most surprising, well, not surprising, but it starts to hit a lot closer home are the young children, that are out there. Again, guys, we have a 5-year-old in the city of Brownsville, and that's just very, very telling. And I think that's most concerning to me, Mayor, because it's because of recently up in New York, we had the Kawasaki children, and I think it's some 70 children that came up with Kawasaki disease, and we've had conversations with Dr. Cerdan yesterday, and Dr. Ed Hernandez also made his concern in regards to the Kawasaki. So I again, for individuals that start to think, because when we first got hit with the nursing homes, a lot of people are saying, well, it's hitting the old people. It's not just hitting the old people.
Oh no, not at all. We've known that from day one. I think our youngest so far is 4 months old. We've had a couple that have been less than a year old. So we heard in those that got to see the Facebook Live from the city last week. We had Dr. Zamir on, and I asked him the question. Are children immune? They're definitely not. And children are carriers. They tend to be more asymptomatic carriers, but they're definitely not immune to any of this. And what we're seeing, unfortunately, is we're starting to see a lot of long-lasting effects in some of the individuals that have been infected throughout the world. We're just starting to see some studies come in, and we're starting to see some of the long-term effects on the lungs and other things that are affecting everybody, not just the elderly. I mean, we're seeing the individuals that have been passing away, unfortunately, are the individuals that are in the higher age range, but younger individuals, teenagers, young adults, children are definitely not immune, which concerns me certainly about BISD, and it's concerned me this whole time, and certainly concerns me about graduation. I don't know I have no idea how they're going to do it, but I'm extremely concerned about it.
Well, one of the things that I think, one of the models, again, and the only reason that we have, we know a lot of these things is because we're seeing it in regards to different models out there. When Mike Morath, the education commissioner, made mention of, he mentioned West Point as the model, and I actually watched the West Point graduation, and it did have the individuals separated. There were no parents in the stands, so I don't see how they wanted to make the same comparison, because in the model that the district is proposing, they are planning to have parents in the stands. And again, that's very, very concerning for me, and we'll go into that in a little bit, but that's concerning for me for this reason. With Spanish Meadows, in Spanish Meadows, we did have that one patient who came into Spanish Meadows and tested negative. And then he comes in, and then all of a sudden he's positive. And now we've got 5 individuals at Spanish Meadows also testing positive.
And I got some more word on that today. We had 3 more individuals that were retested that did test positive. And one thing about Spanish Meadows, I will say, and I'm getting my information from our health director, Dr. Art Rodriguez, But as soon as we heard about Spanish Meadows, they've actually been really proactive, and I was impressed by some of the protocols that they've had in place. But they tested all of their employees, they tested all of their residents, and they had 5 employees in. I'm sorry, 5 residents initially test positive out of a little bit over 100, and they retested them, which I think is impressive in itself. They retested them, and they found that 3 that had initially been negative did turn out to be positive. And I believe out of close to about 100 employees, give or take, as well, they do have 1 employee who was positive. But they did quarantine a lot of them, so I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. We're not gonna have a veranda. We're not gonna have a Windsor situation because the nursing home was proactive and because they had a lot of protocols in place already before any of these issues came up.
Well, and that was my question to Dr. Sardan yesterday. Being that, and actually, I mean, you confirmed it, Mayor. The person comes in, tests negative, then once he's there, boom, it le brota and it becomes positive. And now we know that some of the negatives that were tested are at least 3 of them are now positive, which tomorrow it might be another couple of individuals. And what I'm getting at in regards to the graduation was, what's to say with individuals are being scanned as they're coming into the stadium to fill up the stands that they don't have any symptoms whatsoever. And and even if we have the tests by then, which we're not going to have them, those 15-minute tests to check, when they all come in there, all may be appearing asymptomatic, and then all of a sudden they leave and they're just going to be spreading it everywhere.
All right. What we're learning is that we have a pretty high percentage of COVID positives that are asymptomatic, right? So
Right.
I don't have the exact percentage, but we do have quite a bit that are asymptomatic, and that's a concern because those individuals feel just fine. Obviously, the definition of asymptomatic is you don't have any symptoms, right? So they're not presenting any symptoms, but they're out there just as contagious as anybody else, spreading the disease, and those are the concerns, right? And also, even if you are infected, uh, if you are a carrier of the virus and you're just getting sick, it's probably several days before you're going to present with symptoms. So just because you're checking temperatures or taking other precautions, which I will say, taking temperature screenings, other things like that are good. They do prevent some, right? But it's not gonna catch everything. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible to catch everything. And what we're seeing is we're seeing a high spread and a super high contagious rates when you have individuals that are exposed to each other for a prolonged period of time in a high density area or close proximity to each other. Which, if you're looking about if you're thinking about the prototypical place where people are going to be together for a long period of time in close quarters in high density, you're looking at workplaces like a call center or places like Walmart, HEB, hospitals, and of course graduation.
Mayor, we recently got word this evening that Kempo Amphels had additional 2 positives from employees there. Has the public health department for the city of Brownsville reached out to Amphels lately? Could you give us any word on that?
Sure. I'm just again going on my own knowledge here and some of the conversations I've had with our health director. But when the AMFEL positives first started coming up about 2 weeks ago, I know that our health department went on site, had a conversation, had a meeting with individuals there. That is county jurisdiction, just so you know. But I still asked them to go because the individuals that work there are Brownsville residents, and it does affect us. So he did go out there, and part of our team went out there to have a conversation and kind of see what it was that was going on, what kind of protocols they have in place. And they had a good conversation. And so far it's been limited, but there was, I think, about 2 or 3 people that tested positive within a few days. And what AMFELS did is they immediately shut down that unit and quarantined all those individuals, sent them home. So that helped. That kind of proactive behavior certainly helps, right? It's when you don't know somebody's sick or you just continue to send people to work knowing that they may present with symptoms that's going to cause the issues we've seen.
I think one of the things that concerns us in regards to the AMFO situation, and I understand that it is the Port of Brownsville. One of the things I think that concerns us with the AMFO situation was that, we hear a lot of individuals who are concerned. They're working for these different places, and I appreciate the city of Brownsville, taking those extra steps in regards to knowing that our people are working out there. But again, I guess the hope is that all entities out there that employ so many employees, they all take all those necessary precautions, and being a little bit proactive in regards to following the guidelines by the CDC in regards to social distancing and anything. With that said, the CDC guidelines, they appear to be changing every very so often. I would even dare say that every other day, we're getting different information from them. One of the
Well,
other,
we're learning every day, right? Things are changing and they're fluctuating almost on a daily basis. So the CDC guidelines, we've seen them change so much from the beginning over the course of the last 3 months or so.
yes,
We've seen the recommendation on facial coverings change over the course of this, from you don't need it to, well, you can use it if you want to, we're strongly recommending it. So CDC, just like all of us, is learning more every day, and things change on a daily basis. So that's why we need to be as proactive as possible and not take any chances. Go with what works. What do we know that works? Keeping away from each other, covering ourselves, protecting ourselves, and trying to stay away from large crowds and big gatherings like that is what we know works. Those are fail safe. Then other things are still up in the air, right?
yeah, and I think what and going back into the constant changes, we recently had the changes come down from Austin in regards to the governor wanting to open up the economy, following the lead President Trump up there. But and I understand that there's been a lot of I would say maybe frustration with a lot of different, and not just our county, but different counties and different cities in the state of Texas that are actually feeling the brunt force of COVID-19. And I appreciate, Mayor, that I've seen your posting that you've been encouraging individuals to continue with the social distancing, continue with the face coverings. Actually, seen examples of you at the grocery store doing the same. With that said, some of our grocery stores have already started to test positive inside the city of Brownsville. And is that a concern to you all?
That individuals are starting to test positive in grocery stores?
Yes.
Absolutely, of course. Like I said earlier, my gosh, I mean, you don't want an employee in a high density area or high density workplace that has a lot of traffic to be exposed or to have the virus. So we've seen, originally, I think the best case study here was what we saw with the Rancho Viejo group, the first group that we started hearing about in early March. And we saw that all those individuals were exposed to each other, close proximity, and they all, I think, wound up testing positive. There may have been a couple that didn't. But whenever you have something like this, you must be concerned. And I hope that HEB and Walmart and all these other employers, as soon as they find that somebody may be positive or may be presenting symptoms, they've got to put them off take them off the schedule and send them home and get them tested.
In regards to the numbers increasing, we are at the, we haven't peaked. They keep on going up. They keep on going up, keeping on going up. Is there a new projection from any of the health individuals that y'all have spoken to, be it county, state, local, in regards to when we might be peaking here in our area?
No idea at this point. Ever since we reopened, I think everything's unpredictable. It's become less predictable, and really, I don't know of anybody that can say when things like that are going to slow down. As long as we keep sending people out there without facial coverings and individuals are acting as if nothing's wrong, then it's going to keep spreading. What we do know though is I did ask Dr. Joseph McCormick, who's a big infectious disease expert and has worked some of the largest pandemics we've had. He says that in order for us to kind of really get over the hump without a vaccine, we're going to need to have about 80% of the population that's either exposed, carrying the antibodies, or has had the virus. 80%.
Wow.
Mayor, in regards to the beauty salons, what has been so far? Have you been getting feedback from that industry? And also on Monday, we're about to open up gymnasiums. What expectations do you have? Number one, from the salons, and from the gymnasiums opening up on Monday.
From the salons, I haven't heard anything, or I'm not aware of any issues. I thought that haircut, barbershop salons were places that could have opened earlier.
Yeah.
And let's get something straight. I'm not against reopening. Okay. I'm not against opening the economy. I understand that people are suffering. We need to get back to work. Businesses need to open. What I'm an advocate for is doing it safely and doing it tiered, doing it structured, and making sure that we take as many precautions as we can to protect patrons and employees. So opening up the state and telling people they don't have to wear any protective covering or anything like that, I thought was a wrong approach. As far as nail salons, barbershops, I think as long as they wear their coverings, the patrons wear it as well. I don't see any issues. I thought that was kind of long delayed. Then as far as gyms are more of a concern because you have a higher occupancy. You've got a lot more hands-on. The equipment's getting touched. Uh, it's harder to sanitize. It's not a one-on-one basis. If it's a personal trainer that takes one person in at a time, I get it. It's almost like a barbershop or salon. But when you're talking about a gym that's going to have 20, 40, 50 people using machinery and equipment close to each other, that becomes more of a concern. So I can understand the concern with gyms. Barbershop salons, less of a concern for me.
I'll ask this question because Leticia's asking, and I know the answer, but I'll ask it. She was asking a couple of times. Mayor, can we ask them to postpone graduation until late June or July? They need to put out the guests.
We can ask. We already know what the answer is, right? BISD's made it very clear what they're going to do. And unfortunately, the governor gave them the ability to do it. The governor said graduations are just fine. So go forward with graduation. So there's nothing I can personally do to prevent this that I'm aware of.
No, and again, I'll ask one question. It is a PR stunt. It's just a PR move. And again, my issue, and I'll share it very, very quickly, Mayor. I don't want to take the time from you. But my issue is, I truly believe that they want to keep people happy. And what's going to wind up happening is, again, and I've told students have asked me when I go to Jack in the Box, they ask me, they said, what about graduations? Guys, the graduation that you have in your mind is not the graduation that you're going to have. Parents and kids have this idea that they're going to be together, that they're going to be taking pictures together, and that's not going to happen. And when that doesn't happen, it's going to be a PR, in my opinion, a PR disaster for them, and it's going to come back and bite them in the butt. But that's just my opinion. With that said, one of the other topics that y'all recently voted on at the city commission meeting was in regards to PUB, in regards to the audit. And I know there's very little that can be said. Commissioner Golonsky came out and gave a big old spiel and explanation in regards to why she voted against it. It just doesn't make sense. We truly believe that y'all have done the right thing. Is there anything else that you could share at this time? I know it's a very sensitive issue in regards to the 1.3.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that the money, there's a big question as to where the money is, right? There is an investigation going on. The FBI is involved. Police department's involved. There's no question the money was paid out mistakenly, whether that was negligent, whether that was some sort of criminal act. I can't opine on that, and the authorities are going to be the ones to decide that. But what we do know is that the contractor didn't get their initial payment, and it had to get sent again. So the PUB up to this point has expended $2.6 million on a $1.3 million debt. The anticipation is that some of that money will come back either through insurance monies, which has been talked about. But here's the issue, and this is the biggest question: is whenever you're dealing with bank fraud or a transaction, whether it's you maybe somebody use your credit card at the gas station, and it's a $100 charge. It's really the same fundamental thing when it comes to banking, which is you need to report it. The bank itself needs to do an investigation as to what happened and whether they need to put the money back into your account. And that's what's happening here. The bank, PUB's bank, is doing an investigation to determine whether or not there was fraud. And if there was, PUB requested that money to be returned. Wow. So the bank is going to determine whether they put the money back or whether there's a reason that they should not return the funds. And that's really the question that's lingering. The bank hasn't finished doing its investigation, so we can't determine whether it's technically a loss and whether insurance should be paying for it yet. So that's really what it comes down to. I think it's been, some people are acting as if it's a big secret thing. I don't know why. I respect the investigation part of it, the FBI part, the PD part of it. Certainly, I'm not going to interfere or comment on a criminal investigation, but when it comes down to the money, it was certainly paid out, and the contractor didn't receive it. And there's an investigation going on as to what happened to it, where it is, and whether it should be returned or not.
Awesome, thank you, Mayor. And I'll ask Alma's question because I think it's a great question. How are hurricane preparations changed in response to COVID? How will the city prevent an outbreak if the shelters have to be, being that we are in slowly approaching hurricane season?
That's a good question, and it's one that I don't have an answer to actually. I have not even thought that far, to be honest, and it's I can say it's above my pay grade because right now there's certain people that work for the city whose job it is to do that. But Alma, I have not been made aware of what the preparations are. So sorry, I don't have an answer to your question, but it's certainly a concern because if you have to evacuate people, you have to shelter them in a situation where you're dealing with a pandemic and possibly a spread of a virus. It's not something you're going to want to do. So there's going to have to be precautions taken. So I don't know the answer to that question, but it's a good question. Thanks.
It is a great question, and again, maybe we can direct it towards the city, which I'm sure that they've already started preparing for hurricane season, because it is. I guess it's something, and again, it's very understandable. We're dealing with COVID-19, and it's just one disaster, and we're praying to God that we don't get one on top of that one. And yes, city,
awful.
Yeah, city saying gas is down, PUB is going up. Yes, and that is something that's concerning. The PU, one of the, it's people are very very concerned in regards to the PUB rates. Many have stated that they continue to go on the rise, and
the rates are actually the same. They've been the same. We know that they were raised for Tenasca, right? And I've been an advocate of scaling them back down to pre-Tenasca. My ideal goal is to scale them back within a period of time, not just all at once, but to scale those rates back. That's a decision of the city commission, and the city commissioners are going to have to make that call. Whether I have the support of that or not, I'm still not sure. But that's ideally what I'd want to do. But that's actually not correct. PB rates are the same. The cost of gas is what's been fluctuating. But I think maybe that individual's bill may have gone up because of consumption. And typically during the winter, your bill's going to be a lot less because you're consuming a lot less. When we're 90 degrees in May, our ACs tend to run a little bit longer. But the PB rates actually are the same.
Thank you. Humble, honest, transparent. Thanks, Trey. Yeah, very good. Guys, Mayor, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that again,
so good.
You let us know when you have to go. I know it's that this break might not last too long, but again, we are concerned in regards to the numbers, in regards to everything else. One of the things that I think the city has been very proactive in as well, especially BCIC. I mean, which is doing I think a great job. Actually, my sister got a call from BCIC today in regards to the assistance that they're going to be giving small business. Do you foresee? And again. We know that a lot of funds are coming back to the city of Brownsville. It was reported today that I think it was $5 million is coming, or $10 million for
10.
Our allocation's $10 million.
Right.
We're getting 20% up front, so a little bit over $2 million. But in order to get the other $8 million, we've got to spend a certain amount of money. We can't just get $8 million for free. We've got to actually expend those. Right. There's certain qualifications as to what you can spend that money on. Small business assistance, my understanding, is one of those things. So it's good that BCIC was proactive in putting these programs together, because we may actually be able to help some more people and get some more money out of that. But another thing that we're happy about that's reimbursable is testing. So I was on a phone call earlier. As you know, I mean, the city of Brownsville was the first city in the valley to start testing, and we've had that program in place now for probably about 6-7 weeks. And thankfully, we are able to get a lot of that money reimbursed, but also there is money for testing, and that's one of the things that's reimbursable. So I had a call earlier today about actually ramping up the testing even more, seeing what our total capacity is, building it up, and coming together with some of these large scale employers and seeing if we can actually have some sort of testing plan in place with them.
Well, it's very impressive, and again, I appreciate that we got calls today from the city of Brownsville. So I mean, hats off again to BCIC and to all those other programs. Now, are we, as one of the things that's happening nationwide is that there's another stimulus in the works. Talk, yes, no, maybe. So now, do you foresee more assistance for small business in the city of Brownsville coming from the city of Brownsville?
Well, from the city of Brownsville, you have to understand, we're doing all we can to try and put some funds out there, but we are suffering ourselves, right? So we have put programs out there. Thankfully, BCIC and GBIC have monies, city monies to put out there for that. Whether the city of Brownsville is going to put any more money out there, I can't tell you yet. But I can say that some of the monies that have been kind of earmarked for us do include some assistance for small business. So hopefully we can put something together for that.
Mayor, in regards to entrepreneurs here in Brownsville, we see how the pulga is big on our local economy for a lot of people. We understand that right now the city is not allowing that. What is the stance in regards to garage sales? Is that something that could potentially possibly open up in the next, let's say, few weeks, few months?
Well, as of right now, the city orders do prevent garage sales, and the city actually, technically, the owners of the flea market have voluntarily decided not to open.
Yes.
That to me is probably even a bigger risk than a BISD graduation. When you're dealing with the density and the amount of people that go out to the flea market on a Saturday and Sunday, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Hey, sometimes me too, man. But really, and the owners, I will give credit to the Gomez family. They've been amazing to work with, very easy to work with, very understanding, and they stand behind the city and the decision so far. And I wish that everybody was like that. But eventually, the flea market will open, and I actually did. On the call that I was on earlier today with the city, I did say start getting together with the flea market so we can put a plan together for them to eventually reopen. Let's start putting a plan together. Let's see how they would do it. Let's see some of the sanitation protocols they may be putting in place. So, hopefully, or the plan is for our health department to start having discussions with them on coming up with a plan for eventually reopening.
Would it be something like a 25% or?
At this point in time, I would not feel anything over 25% would even be close to safe.
Yeah.
But I still think that's a while away from happening.
Mayor, very quickly, one of the things that we saw is that we did okay in regards to the sales tax come in for this past quarter.
But we're all projected it's going to be 10 to 15%. I think this year we're going to be down. We're not down as much. I think we're around 9% as of right now. Last number I heard, but the April numbers haven't come in yet. So March was I think 9%. April numbers haven't come in yet. So once April comes in, we're expecting a larger double digits for sure.
So how are we going to be as a city in regards to our finances? Any projections?
Well, the good thing about being fiscally responsible as a city is carrying a fund balance. Some of the cities you're seeing out there that are going bankrupt or having issues with being able to fund their operations are because they don't have fund balances. The city of Brownsville, as of now, I think has a fund balance in excess of about 80 days. The typical standard or the amount of days that's accepted as being responsible is 60. So we're well in excess of that. So we're okay fund balance wise. But certainly if this keeps up, not only are we going to be in trouble, but so is everybody else. But what I can say is the city of Brownsville right now is we have a healthy fund balance. I hope we don't have to tap into it, but if we do, it'll be because of a shortfall due to this, not because of any other fiscal planning.
Mayor, one of the things that again, this is election year for several entities here. It'll be election year next year. Do you think that our elections are going to be pushed forward this coming November, this coming July, the runoffs?
I know that there was a letter sent by the AG regarding voting by mail. If there's something coming up in July, I can see that being jeopardized possibly. I'm sure we'll get some guidance from the AG or from the governor on that. As far as November elections, I pray to God that that's not going to be delayed because I'm looking forward to those, and so are a lot of people.
Yes.
But especially in Washington. But I don't know what's going to happen in November. It's too early to tell. But for July, I think it's not unreasonable to think that they may be delayed. I hope they aren't for the candidates and certainly for those individuals that are maybe looking for a change or something. But if it's going to be delayed, I'm sure it's because of a safety concern and not for anything else. We'll see. Best luck going down, Veras, no doubt.
Ah,
Don't believe me. Just ask James Beard.
James Beard. Have you actually tried the smoked barbacoa that they? Have you ever tried smoked barbacoa?
Tried Big E's, yeah.
That's so good.
Smoked barbacoa has a totally different taste, right? I mean, it's a little bit more like barbecue, like chopped barbecue, but
Like brisket.
to me, Veras is number one. Uh, it's hard to beat.
Oh, Mary, we appreciate you. I mean, and this is not the only place you visit every week, but we appreciate you coming out on different shows and bringing these live, informative, I guess, podcasts that y'all have been doing. Do we have any other upcoming podcasts? I know that you had one with several doctors. Are there any
Tomorrow we're having another one. It's going to be at 5:30 tomorrow, and it's going to be focused on hospitals and the healthcare industry. We're going to have the two CEOs. We're going to have Leslie Bingham, the CEO of Valley Baptist. We're going to have Art Garza, who is the CEO of Valley Regional. We're going to have Dr. Rose Gowan and myself co-hosting. We're going to have Dr. Beverly Zavaleta, and then we're going to have, I believe, Dr. Art Rodriguez as well, our health director. And we're going to be focusing on talking about what's going on in the hospital, some of the protocols, safety, things like that, and the current state of the pandemic, maybe some safety precautions. We're going to talk to Dr. Zavaleta about what she's seeing out on the front lines on the medical side, and it'll be a great conversation, and I hope as many people tune in as they can.
Yes, sir. And again, one of the other podcasts that I saw it today, was in regards to Crossroads, the Crossroads events that we had this year downtown. Mayor, one of the goal of Crossroads was to bring all these people together and everything else. Do you foresee any events in the future for the city of Brownsville? I know we had Cinco de Mayo canceled out. Do we foresee canceling out any of our other major events here in the city of Brownsville?
Well, I think anything past the fall. I think up until the fall at least, I don't see anything happening until maybe October, November. Large-scale events at best. It's going to be tough at Osmo. The next 2-3 weeks, really a month, is going to tell us a lot about where we're going to be headed in the fall. If we're not able to get control of this, then we're going to be well into this in the fall. And next year's events are going to be in jeopardy as well. You know, they're talking about maybe baseball season on a national level. I don't know enough about that, but I'm going to certainly look into it because I'm a huge Cubs fan. But otherwise, it's going to be tough. I mean, huge sporting events. The world's different now. Our new reality is different than our old reality. Things are not going to be the way they were for a really long time. And now it's just a matter of what can we do to try and get back to our old way of life? And it's going to take a while. I don't see large events. I think large events are going to be really something that people are going to have a hard time going back to for a while until we get a vaccine or until we see that, like Dr. McCormick said, unless 80% of us have been exposed or carry the antibodies, we're not going to get over this.
No, and again, it's very, very unfortunate. I know that a lot of our students are out there, and what I've shared with them is in regards to football. Football. They're going to have the players start on a kind of wonky schedule without fans in the stands, which actually rhymes. Which I'm very impressed with that. But they have the capability of testing the players every single time they go play. We do not. We do not have those economical resources as a school district or anyone dealing with UIL in order to have those constant testings. And even then, it's just going to be very strange.
I don't think anybody has the ability to do such large-scale testing anywhere, really, other than the White House, which has been doing it regularly. I don't think anybody else really has access to the kind of testing you need to be able to carry on normal activities. And the rapid tests that are out there, they're not readily available. There's so many out there now. Some of them have been approved by FDA kind of hastily, and they're not reliable. The rate of it is kind of high. The false negative rates are high, which is one of the reasons the city hasn't used it yet. Because when we first started hearing about rapid testing and the 15-minute tests, we thought, hey, why don't we get a lot of these for our frontline employees, our firefighters, our police officers. That way we can test them and see where they are. But then we started hearing a lot more about the reliability and how it's an issue and how it's not anywhere near as reliable as a nasopharyngeal swab, which is ideal, right? So it's almost impossible to carry on a mass testing program that's going to be reliable. And if you think about it, I'm seeing a question there: is the recycling center open? Yes, it is. It's been open since last week. But if you're talking about a large scale testing operation, where does it end? Because we can test. Um, let's just say there's 200 people that work at Walmart, and let's say that today we test all of those people, and yeah, we can do it. We can get results back in 15 minutes, but when do they get tested again? Today they're going to go back home. They could go to HEB. They could go to a family picnic. They could get exposed today. I mean, at what point do you stop testing, or how do you develop a testing program that's going to be effective to really limit the spread? Because just because we test everybody today doesn't mean that they're not going to be infected in 2 days. It's almost never ending. If you start going down that rabbit hole, it'll never stop.
Mayor, we're at 580. We're at 582 as a county. Is it fair to say that in the next 4 or 5 weeks, Brownsville will see a large number of increase due to the large amount of testing that's going to be done?
Yeah, actually, there's going to be a lot more testing. I don't know if you're aware, but the state's opened up a lot more testing. We're going to have probably about 10 different testing sites over the next 2 weeks. So absolutely, we're at, what'd you say, Frankie, 582?
Yes, sir. County level, yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's not, I mean, positives, right? So we're done. We've done about 6,000, almost 7,000 tests. You got to consider we're going to do a couple thousand more probably over the next couple weeks. It's not unreasonable for us to be inching towards 1,000 probably by middle, maybe about I'd say 2-3 weeks from now, we're probably going to be pretty close. Wow. I mean, if you're looking at the amount of tests we're going to start doing, we're going to have so many more tests out there. And we're almost 60% of the way there. So it's not unreasonable to think we're going to get at least another couple hundred over the next couple weeks.
Well, I think one of the things that the county is going to start doing as of next week, they're going to have several sites where they're going to be doing the drive-through testing. I think TRGV also extended their testing sites. I think they're now at 3 testing sites.
Yeah, they're doing Harlingen, Brownsville, and I think one other city. But right now, overall, if you look at the amount of tests and the amount of positives, like I said earlier, the city's got 2,058 and 212 positives. So overall, the trend countywide is about 10% of the people that get tested are positive. So just do the math and figure out how many more are going to get tested over the next couple of weeks. If that's 2,000, then we can probably pick up another couple hundred, right? Just going based on the percentages that are out there now.
So is the goal going to be to test as many people in the city of Brownsville as possible?
The goal is definitely to test as many people as possible, but the overwhelming goal should be trying to prevent as many positives as possible. And that's where protocols come into play and strategies and plans and safety.
Liliana asked the question, and I'll direct her back. I think just where we're directing everyone to BTX Cares.
BTXcares.com is the city website that has all the COVID-19 information. It has information on the testing sites, and it has a lot of other information that you may want to know in regards to COVID.
Good. There's a question by Luis. What message would you, as a mayor, give to folks that don't wear the mask, continue large gatherings? We've talked about this already.
You want an answer? Okay. Well, I mean, I think anytime somebody goes out there without a covering, and see, this is the one maybe misperception is, if I'm wearing a mask or if I'm wearing a facial covering, I'm protecting you from me. I'm not protecting myself. Unless I've got an N95, I'm not protecting myself. So if I go out there, if us 3 are having lunch or we're hanging out, watching Netflix or something, we're Netflixing and chilling. Facial covering that I'm wearing is only protecting you and Frankie. It's not protecting me from you, unless you yourself have it, right? So if somebody's going out there without a facial covering, they're putting others at risk. And I think people need to, when they leave their house, and I've said this before, when you're going out, you're going to go somewhere, you need to think, is this really necessary? Is this essential? Is there no other way for me to do this? And then when you're possibly taking a risk of infecting others, you need to think about your family. You need to think about individuals in your family that maybe have chronic illness or that are older or at risk. Those are the individuals that you're really putting out there and risking when you're possibly asymptomatic or being exposed to others that are sick.
I think that's one of the concerns. Again, going back into what we've been saying, Tony is asking in regards to Spanish Meadows. We did talk about Spanish Meadows in regards to the 6 individuals out there that have tested positive, which include 1 employee. And again, one of the greatest concerns that we try to tell people is, us young folk, us 30-year-olds, we might not be, running the risk of, maybe losing our life because of it. But because we're carriers, we can go out there and go and meet up with individuals who are actually have these ailments already, diseases already that compound to it and might lose their life. So if you're not doing it for yourself, it's very. And I'll use Judge Trevino's words. You cannot be selfish and think only of yourself. We live in this community. We have to care about the other individuals as well. That was my concern, and a lot of people's concerns with the graduation. The grandparents, los abuelitos quieren estar ahí, and individuals grouped up in that one Sam Stadium, they might not be, showing any symptoms themselves, but they may bring it back home to the fiesta, the little party that they have at the house with the grandparents, and then we're going to continue to have the rise in numbers. That's the concern.
Yep.
Mayor, any final words that you have out there for us?
I just, I've been saying this whole time. Just stay safe and take precautions. Protect yourself. Protect your family. And we're going to keep doing what we can on the city side. We're being as proactive as we can with the resources we have. And I think we've been ahead of the other cities in the valley and really leading the way. And we're going to continue to do that. So I'm doing my part. And if you could follow me around on a daily basis, you'd see all the stuff that's going on that we don't talk about. And it's a big responsibility. It's a big job right now, but I'm honored to have the ability to be here. And thanks for support, Erasmo and Frankie. And anything that comes up, you know where I am.
I appreciate it there. And again, thank you so much for being very, very proactive. Please on our behalf and everyone else's, to thank the health department and everyone else at the city that's doing everything they can. Again, one of the things that I think is very, very commendable is that, being proactive in regards to our nursing homes, learning from the mistakes probably from other sister cities. So again,
that's the same thing. We've had the ability to see other countries, other states. We've had the benefit of seeing their mistakes and possibly correcting some of those mistakes. Some of them we have, and a lot of them we have not. So stay safe out there, and thanks everybody for watching. And remember, Brownsville strong.
Preach it, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Have a great evening. God bless.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, Mayor.
Bye.
Oh, I cut him off. I hope I don't get in trouble. There's a knock on the door. Might be law enforcement. You just cut off the mayor. Sorry. And Eduardo, we did talk about that question. We did ask in regards to a lot of the funding that was coming down. So it'll be towards the front of the thing. But yes, the mayor is very, very proactive. We did speak in regards to a lot of the funds that we have already received. I am concerned. I'm concerned that a lot of our state representatives haven't been as vocal in regards to meeting up with the mayor. I know you mentioned Representative Cuellar and Representative Vela. We also want our state representatives to join forces with them and go out there and fight for every single dollar that we can fight for our community. I think it's very, very important. But I do appreciate the question. We did speak about it. You just got out of Facebook jail. Yes, I surely did. I did today, guys. We appreciate the mayor's time. Again, Mayor, great leadership by the mayor. Great leadership. We will talk a little bit about BISD. We're going to mention. What a surprise. We're going to mention the insurance committee meeting that we had yesterday. We spoke a little bit about it today at noon when we did the jailbreak. We also will talk about a little bit in regards to what happened in the budget meeting today. We won't touch on it all because there was a lot to digest. There was 5 hours of meeting out there, so we got a tidbit of information. I will say that there are some concerns. We'll start with the insurance while we wait. I think Carlos Elizondo was coming on board, but we will mention that yesterday the Brownsville Independent School District, they did have an insurance committee meeting, and the insurance committee meeting are very, very important because it does take a big old chunk of the budget for a BISD. Today they did have the budget meeting, and they spoke a little bit in regards to the raises. They spoke a little bit in regards to the TASB recommendations that were out there. Now, we have to be very, very careful how we dissect a lot that was said today. Again, anytime they talk about raising the salary of the individuals that earn the least amount of money, it's great. It's great, and I appreciate that they did make mention. My concern is that are we really hitting the mark when it comes to saving money? And again, guys, one of the things that was very noticeable to anyone that saw the budget committee meeting out there and have saw it last week as well was that they never spoke, and then watched the TASB presentation 4 weeks ago, actually on the 29th of April. And I know it was the 29th of April because on the 29th of April, I submitted an open records request in regards to have that presentation to show you. And they are dicking me around. They're not producing the documentation, despite the fact that the documentation was shown live on a meeting. They refused to send us the information. They opted to send an opinion, an AG opinion, in regards to requesting information that was already in public. They spoke about it in public. They showed it in public, but there was a lot that was not shown. Show us the money. Show us what you're going to do in regards to the insurance policy. Show us in regards to what's going to happen with a lot of the different employees out there. We want to see it. I mean, BISD deserves to see it. The taxpayers deserve to see it. That's right. Why do you need an attorney general's opinion in regards to what is already ours anyway? Now, in regards to the TASB recommendation, if you remember very well, it did make mention in regards to attrition, in regards to cutting off different positions as called teachers, custodians, everyone out there, nurses, diagnosticians, everyone. With that said, one of the things that was excluded from that conversation was high administration. Was not mentioned. There was no mention in regards to higher administration. What about higher administration? It is public record, Kat. Nothing. No, yes, they were taking me around. It's not a good thing.
We do see how other school districts at Erasmo, and this is one thing that they did bring up in the budget meeting this afternoon, how other school districts have higher pay, especially for brand new teachers and just teachers overall with seniority. There was talks that the school district is trying to implement $46,000 being the base salary for brand new teachers. And one thing that they were trying to see, or they were discussing, was, should we give administration, top heavy, who have already received raises in the past? Should we give them more money? And their focus was, and I believe I forgot the board member who spoke about it, was against it because teachers haven't in my opinion, they're not adequately paid, especially right now during this crisis, and even before this at Erasmo. We see how again, we've always mentioned the size and monster of BISD, and we still can't adequately pay the teachers what they deserve. So hopefully, going through this pandemic will force our hand to see how important teachers are to our community and to our students. And again, we always know, we always appreciate something when we most need them. Right now, distant learning is something, is something very new. Teachers are stressing. $1,500 raise stretched out over 12 months at Erasmo is $70 or $90. In reality, that's probably a meal for the family. So again, we hope that it's not 1,500, maybe it could be 3,000. But that's something that hopefully the school district will take into consideration down the road.
And again, Kat is right. They admitted teachers are the lowest paid in our area. Minerva admitted that $1,500 will be nothing after taxes. Kat, that's very true. But Kat, how long has Minerva been on the board? She's just noticing this now? Honestly, how long has she been on the board? She's been on the board for 12 years. She is part of the problem. She is part of the why teachers' salaries are so low. So after 12 years, now the light bulb turned on and said, "Oh, 1,500 is nothing after taxes." Now, after 12 years,
Finally.
she has been through 12 budget votes. 12.
Budget.
And not till now. And isn't it coincidence? And you know what? And I will dare to say that she probably brought it up 4 years ago as well, and 8 years ago. And when she was first running, they were bringing it up. But I guess even if they bring it up, they don't do anything about it, anything that they need to about it. So right now, she finally figured out that, hey, maybe we should have been paying teachers more. Guys, it's election year. That's all it is. It's election year. It's too long.
And Erasmo, it's sad whenever we use politics in order to, it's kind of like they're waving that food in front of us. Oh, you want this? You want this? Vote for me. Vote for me. And it shouldn't be like that, Erasmo. It should be for the better good of everybody. Again, how many times have they been promising this to us? It's or to the teachers. I'm sorry. It's just around election time. It shouldn't be that way. We should always have our teachers and staff and community at the forefront. But again, it's unfortunate that this is a PR stunt, Erasmo. Again, we talked earlier in the noon segment, the special edition segment, how it's $1,500, but the insurance is still just as expensive. So again, it's a wash, Erasmo. Yeah, it's great that they're going to get $70, $90, but what good is it to them if they're going to have to pay for it for more insurance fees? So again, this is just a PR stunt, in my opinion. They're using this for their own political aspirations, which in my mind is very wrong, especially during a time like this.
Hey, Carlos, how you doing, Carlos?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
¿Te aventaron para afuera para el carro o qué?
Siempre ya me corrieron de la casa. Me corrieron de la ciudad, me corrieron de la casa. No me te creas.
Too soon.
I'll be home in a few minutes. I was just doing some essential buying, but I'll get a better computer. But for now, thanks for letting me get on the show just now.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for being here, man.
We're talking in regards to the budget. We're also making mention in regards to the insurance, and we'll do the budget right now to start it off. But then when you get home, we'll talk about the insurance, because I think that was the big one.
Yeah, most definitely.
Did you have a chance to see the budget committee meeting today?
No, I actually didn't lose minutes of my life on something like that today. I didn't, but I tell you what, there's a lot of people that called me and let me know that some of the stuff that was going on, which is, it's ridiculous.
And yes, I was actually in Matamoros today, so I didn't have a chance to see the whole thing. But I appreciate having some time taking out there and going over the meeting, and other individuals said the same thing. Now, one of the things that they did speak about was raising the amount of pay for a lot of our bus drivers. Again,
good.
It's a great
they need it.
And they surely
awesome.
need it. Also,
that's what Sylvia Atkins' platform was, is to give the bus drivers more money, but she never did.
No, because that was 4 years ago when she was running for office. One of the things that we're saying is in regards to the budget meeting. Frankie made mention that Minerva had, and someone actually posted up here how Minerva was so concerned that $15 raise for teacher wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. After taxes, it wasn't going to be a lot of money. And my question to Frankie and to other people here was, it took her 12 years to be on the board to finally figure out that we're not paying our teachers enough.
Yeah.
It's like if it were election year.
Well, it's because Erasmo, they always put stuff out like that when it's election time. They a lot of the light bulbs start clicking when it's election time.
That's the only time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time. Ahora, como que de repente ahora se le prendió el foco y dijo, no, sí, teachers, we gotta pay them more. Where were you? Now, when I was on the board for a little over a year, that was one of my biggest concerns. When are we going to come to par with districts our size? We still have individuals in our schools that are paid less from smaller districts throughout the valley. I mean, every time
Hmm.
we go for these workshops up there at Region 1 to Edinburgh, a lot of our staff that go up there, like our cafeteria people or our bus drivers, they get to talk to other cafeteria people. They get to talk to other bus drivers, and they all of a sudden find out that they're getting paid $2, $3, $4, $5 less than everybody else.
That's correct.
I mean, what needs to happen for us to get to that point where we're at par with everyone else here in the valley?
It's going to get to the point to where these people are actually going to look at individuals when it and it's unfortunate because the bus drivers got lied to by that slate that won, right? And so what happens when that slate won? Well, they forgot about them. They're already in, you know. So now what happens now is that slate that's there, wants to push the individuals who are going to come in here and make the right change for the right individuals and for the right reasons. Because if you bring in the majority to come in here and make these changes, guess what? They become a minority. They become a silent voice. And when they do that, you're gonna watch. You're gonna fade out. Right now, the control is still there, and it's kind of iffy, because you don't know what side is what. But if you look at what they're doing and what they're saying and what they're doing with the employees, with absorbing some of these positions, closing the schools down, building. I don't know what they're gonna build now, and then now, like the worst thing you can do to an individual during this time of need of this COVID-19 or 16 for some individuals is touch their health insurance. But the only thing, and you saw that on that, and maybe this is not the time to talk about it, but you saw what the administration is doing. They're forcing these people that they brought in from Edinburgh to figure out a way how to flip the bill on every employee. And how do they do that? Is make them pay more on their insurance.
Yeah,
But they haven't put it in writing yet, Erasmo,
exactamente.
because they don't know how hard it's going to hit them come November if
Exactly.
they make a bad move.
Exactly. And Karen, and I'll answer your, well, it's a statement. We are not going to pay extra for insurance. Karen, that is not exactly what they said.
Nope.
If I watched the insurance committee meeting, and in the insurance committee meeting, that is not what they said. What they said, and this is, you have to understand a lot of their language. What they said at the insurance committee meeting was, because they asked, so the employee portion is not going to go up. And the superintendent's response was, no, not at this time. Not now. That was a response, Karen. And that was the catch response. Not at this time. How do you define not at this time?
Yeah.
This
It's like,
year, this decade, this
it,
or
it's like what he said. The
Right.
voluntary. It's voluntary, but now teachers are being forced to go.
exactly.
But it's still voluntary. But if they don't show, then when they're I guess when the when the administrator has to go and sign off on them, then they say, well, you weren't a team player because I still have to do your evaluation. You didn't come in during your voluntold time. So
Yes.
guess what they'll do? They'll get them on that. And guess what? Here's the pool. Come next time, your contract is up. You're
Up.
going to the pool because you're
Again,
not a team player.
that voluntary is the best example, Karen. The
Yep.
voluntary. I mean, it's recorded. There's a recording where he admits to saying that he lied. Administration lied when they told him, guys, it's going to be voluntary. He
Yep.
admitted that he lied. So no, Karen. I mean, I understand a lot of people want to defend the district and want to say, no, this is what they're saying, right? I'm sorry. I mean, I want to defend the district as well. Again, we mentioned, Carlos mentioned, I mentioned, hey, great thing that they're bringing up the salaries of the bus drivers. Should have done it a long time ago, but I'm glad
Long
they're
time
bringing
ago.
up the bus driver salaries. I'm glad that they're bringing up other personnels from I think $8 to $11. I mean, great. I'm glad that they're doing that. But how they're treating our counselors, there was a group of counselors out there at the
Yep.
budget meeting. They were out there going like, what's going to happen to us? And The board members
Well,
basically said,
well,
"We don't care."
yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They're picking librarians over counselors. They should be picking anybody over anybody. You know, the counselors
No,
are getting the you know the bad side of the stick. Per se. They're claiming out there that they're going to be moved to a pay four. Why would you even put them in a pay three? And now because they're making noise and they're saying, you know what, come November we're going to vote, and it's not going to be favorable for the individuals who are making these erroneous decisions. And so now they're telling counselors, okay, well, you know what, well, let's put you in a pay grade four. Okay, so then there's two factors, Erasmo. The teachers, they get paid so much, right? That's their position, and then they get a stipend for the type of work that they do, right?
yes,
So depending on that, have they told them we're going to pay you this and we're not going to touch this side,
no,
or vice versa? They haven't told them that.
no.
All it is just it's just hearsay for now. They haven't actually put anything in writing. They're saying, "Oh, we'll still pay you for being, your teacher, your base pay." Then the position that you hold, depending whether you're a counselor, administrator, librarian, dean, special ed teacher, whatever it is that they do, right? There's monetary values to those. They haven't told them that they're not going to touch those.
They
They
have
haven't said, you know what, you're going to keep your stipend. They're going to say, we'll give you a pay raise, but at this point in time, you're not going to be qualified for that stipend that you get.
no because you're in a different position already. You're, you're
Ah, the
you just
math, the
you just
math is not computing, right?
you just bumped out of.
Counselors beware. The counselors need to beware. They are pushing you in these positions because this is an Edinburgh thing. This is a little Edinburgh thing that they did over there that they don't know if it's even working. They haven't even told them over there how it's working and if it even works or if it negatively or positively affected the employees. But they want to push it down the throats of these individuals, and they're starting with counselors.
They're starting with counselors, and it's very very unfortunate. I mean, the other move that they mentioned today was that library aides are gone.
Can
No,
you imagine?
my goodness.
That's what
I mean,
that's
yeah,
that's horrible.
who needs reading books? Screw books. I mean, library aides. And again, someone mentioned the paraprofessionals. Guys, we're not paying the paraprofessionals anything for the amount of work that a lot of individuals do out there. We're not paying them anything, nada,
Nope.
and they weren't even mentioned.
No, because it's not important for them.
It's not important. Our market, according to TASB, again, listening to the inaccurate ratios and information, it's all a mess.
Right.
We haven't even started on insurance yet. I mean, we got a good 30 minutes for insurance. It is a mess to decrease the superintendent's salary. Guys, they didn't even bring it up. That's the reason why I asked for the TASB report that they gave on April 29th. That's why I requested it, to see if there was any mention in regards to lowering the salaries, or if they were way too high in regards to superintendent, deputy superintendent, and area administrators. Why
Well,
didn't
well,
that's for them?
Erasmo, just the creation of more administrative level positions is horrible.
It's horrible.
We're already too top heavy as it is, Erasmo. And one thing I do want to mention very quickly,
Do that.
is PE coaches, Erasmo. Again, going into next year, into 2021, there's a lot of uncertainty of how the district is going to look like. And I think you had previously posted, or we posted on our page, in regards to three options that was gonna happen. Either the school year was going to be extended. It was going to be a flexible schedule. So there's a lot of, are we going to have a distant learning or not? And one of the departments that's really going to be affected are the PE coaches, because again, if we don't have no students in school, there really isn't a need for physical education. So again, what's going to happen to our PE coaches? What's going to happen to their salary? Are they going to be moved into are they going to become teachers for a certain subject, or are they going to be, are they going to be kicked to the curb? Again, there's a lot of uncertainty going out there, and instead of the district addressing these issues and bringing clarity to many individuals out there. It's just up in the air. And again, we're thankful that we have this platform which we've used for the past 5 or 6 weeks at Osmo to voice our opinions and to voice the sentiment and worries of our teachers and of our staff. So again, what's going to happen to these individuals next year at Osmo? Are they also gonna feel the wrath of the school board members? Are they going to be axed? Are they going to get a salary next year? It's up in the air, and that's the scary part.
Karen, I'll say this much: we're not being forced to go in at Falk. That goes to show the leadership that you have at Falk, and I know Benita. She's an amazing administrator. It just depends on the principal. But unfortunately, Karen, not every school in the district has a Benita as a principal. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I actually been confronted by a lot of individuals that said the same. I wish it was the norm. But you know what, Karen? Unfortunately, we don't have Benitas throughout the whole district fighting for their campuses because a lot of individuals are afraid to speak up. And that's just the truth, Karen. So, I mean, y'all have it very well at Falk, really. And again, y'all have a great administrator. She's out there fighting. I know her very, very, very well. I know Rita very well. Actually, her father's church is 3 blocks away from my father's church. So we not only grew up somewhat together, but again, I know her very, very well. Great job. But it's not the same in other districts. Districts in Hidalgo County say that they don't have to do TTES. All employees are exempt from the teacher evaluations. However, they did give us the option to meet with our appraisers if we want to finish it, but we don't have to. But again, I know her. Let's see. It is smoke and mirrors. Unfortunately, it's smoke and mirrors. Guys, no, I mean.
Sorry, guys. I'm back now.
Right. 4 meetings, guys.
You're good.
In 1 week time. 4 meetings in 1 week time. And all just basically to say absolutely, positively nothing that they couldn't have done. It's all a PR stunt, guys. I was surprised to see TVA today. Best was there too. I understand diplomatic approaches, but as union leaders, you need to have teeth in order to support the teachers and staff. And I'm sorry, Kat. I'm done with Best. I'm glad TVA finally went today. I'm done with Best. Best, Patrick is out there applauding, taking pictures with the board members, kissing Minerva's butt, saying what a great, fantastic job they are. I'm sorry. If you're a member of Best, you are pissing away your dues. Pissing away your dues. And God bless you. You can continue to stay with Best. But let me tell you, they are not fighting. You're Best. They're not fighting for you in any which way, shape, or form. No way. Nada. Zip. They could be out there all they want. They could, have all their members there. And I love a lot of the members at Best. I love some of the leadership at Best. I mean, I know that there's someone in leadership out there that's the librarian at Hannah. She does a great job. She was the one that brought down that 40,000 book grant. It was her. It wasn't Patrick. It was her. Patrick's too busy out there kissing the butt of the board members. I'm done. I'm tired. I hate when they piece away money. Some paras I take home 1,100 with an associate. That is why you can't keep good paras. That's a month.
That's horrible.
A month. Am I right, Beatriz? A month.
Yeah, it has to be a month. Everybody gets paid monthly, so that's $1,100 a month. Can you fool that?
I make more than that. And I don't have a job.
All right, I gotta have to borrow some money then, Erasmo. I gotta have to borrow some money then.
I make more than that. I mean, guys, we have to pay them more. Our 29 years with BIZ and the total amount of raises during those years equaled 82 cents.
Wow.
Minerva's been there for 12 years, and now she's very concerned about salaries, teacher salaries. After 12 years? No, you know what's happening there? They're starting to feel the temperature. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot. And it's election year. So they want to make up for it. Oh, let's throw out some numbers out there. Tell us the real numbers, Minerva. Tell us how much we are overpaying the superintendent and superintendents, the higher ups. Give us the facts. Don't hide them. We get the same pay as the substitutes. It's madness. It's crazy. But you know what happens? You all keep voting for the same people. You all keep voting for the same people. Um, they're making us go in at least 2 half days. Well, no, it's voluntary, isn't it, Jeanette? That's what they say. Isn't it
Yeah.
voluntary? Not every school doesn't have a Benita. She was an amazing person to work with. Again, amazing. Ah, mírala. Benita! I mean, hey, Benita, you know me, Benita. I don't kiss anyone's ass. I don't kiss anyone's ass. No one. I tell it like it is. And I visited Falk enough to know that you busted your butt out there for Falk, for your teachers, for your people out there. So again, yeah, I'm going to say, Benita fight for her people. We don't have Benitas all over the district. I said it. I don't mean me atraso. Plus, Falk and Porter get more money with Project Rise. Nah, it's not that they get more money. They have to even out the resources. I don't think it's them getting more money. They just have to even out the resources, guys. But again, I think Project Rise started a couple years back, if I'm not mistaken. And again, great program. I mean, I'm all for them getting more. Iglesia del Pueblo, yes, Eddie. It's right there, 3 blocks away from our church. Have y'all seen me, Eddie, pass by with my scooter? I passed by my scooter. No, and they sell the best. Well, they do the best elotes and totopos con salsita queso right in front of the church. Am I lying, Eddie? Am I lying? Again, yes. My people at Nutritional Service deserve a raise. They
The
do.
most definitely they do. They're one of the people that have been put through the ringer trying to get all these meals out with skeleton crews, and they haven't been given the respect that they deserve, man. FNS has been in the front lines, just like your nurses, your firefighters, your police officers. These FNS individuals from BISD serve thousands and thousands of meals. They deserve not only a raise, but they deserve a pat on the back. They need to be home.
Well, let me tell you in regards to stipends. Well, let's go to coaches. Frankie made mention in regards to PD coaches. PD coaches are tripping right now. They're tripping right now because they don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to have PE classes? Donde están todo el bonche going back and forth. I dare say,
Go back to the classroom. You watch.
yes, they're going to be thrown back into the classroom. Oh, well, wait a minute, because you do PE and you can teach a course. Well, now you're going to teach 2 courses.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. But something that Patti says is very interesting in regards to the stipend. I think I'm going to put my money on that they're going to restructure the stipends in order to even out. Because look, guys, we're talking about insurance, and we'll talk about insurance. I mean, I know we already passed an hour. We've already passed an hour, but we're going to stay a little bit longer in order to answer these questions. Okay, guys. Remember when we said we went from 615 to 585? Someone's going to have to pay for that. Because the district is going to pay less, someone has to pay a little bit more. It's just the way it is. When these people say we're going to give them raises, and it sounds like, oh, that's great. But what happens in November, December when they decide to, well, let's lower the stipends? You want to take a guess as to how much you're actually going to get in raise?
Well,
I would say puro pepper.
They're gonna take it completely away, Erasmo, because they're gonna say, well, you're not using the position as coach, so guess what? And you don't get the coach stipend.
No.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna start taking away the pay from these BIC employees to be able to recover the loss that they did through the theft, through the erroneous and bad administration of our superintendent and his deputies. I mean, they have to plug that hole that they created, and they're going to put it on the backs of every employee. They're going to start with their stipends. They're doing with the counselors. The counselors are positions. They're telling them, guess what? We're going to put you in another pay so we can see how things work. And then they're going to take away their stipends. They're going to take away more money so they can pay for the insurance. They're gonna continue to just everything they can. They're gonna pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. Right.
100%. And Jimmy, don't take Benita. Jimmy, you can't take Benita to Port Isabel, Jimmy. Hey, William. And no, William's right, guys. Unfortunately, publicity stunt or not, some that will be enough. They're going to hook, line, and sinker. They're going to hook, line, and sinker. My mom, FNS for 17 years, underappreciated individual. Erasmo Gutierrez contract has a clause that he will get a raise similar to his teachers. Mira que chulo. So we're going to have a superintendent. Now, the superintendent will get a raise based on the percentage of the increase. So if the teachers are going to get a 10% increase, then he's going to get another
$30,000.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing, guys?
But we're gonna give our bus drivers 15-cent raise.
Yes, they're gonna be all happy. Hey, ahí te va $1 más y bien contentos. And what William says is true. They're going like, no, si nos quiere Minerva, si nos quiere, nos dio $1. Nos dio $1.
And Erasmo, remember the bus drivers, they don't work 40 hours.
No.
They're gonna give them a raise, but they're gonna cut their hours to balance it. So it's gonna be the reach around, just like they're gonna do with the insurance.
Yes.
You know?
They will work number on raises and adjust on insurance. Yes. And a little here, take away a little here, and end up getting paid the same or menos. Or menos. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen. Looking good there. 3 Musketeers. Well, I always look good. I'm glad Frankie and Carlos are catching up. Mr. Elizondo, is right about the stipends. These people are so... Yes! He is right. I mean, guys, it's what they do. And ahorita Minerva, bien indignada. That's not enough for teachers. She finally hit her.
Erasmo.
Years.
It's what's happening. You know, it's like they're attacking counselors right now, and what they're doing is they're attacking their pay, and then they're going to attack their insurance. But at the same time, they haven't put it in writing what their position is going to get paid, right? And then the responsibility. So there's 2 factors here: the position is paid so much, and then they get paid for the responsibility of that individual. In this case, the counselors, they get paid for being a teacher. They right, they have the years of service, whether it's a bachelor's or master's or doctor's, right? And then they get the responsibility, right?
Yes.
So had they put that in writing, they have definitely not. Why? Because it's probably not going to be there. You're going to go sign your contract like everybody does, right? Because you don't want to fear being put in a pool or whatever. So you sign it, but they do have in the clause there that they can change these things. And they're going to change these things. They're going to take money away from each individual. Counselors, diagnosticians, the nurses. They're already looking at this small group because it is the smallest group within the district, right? Because teachers are huge.
Yes.
And counselors, these people that they can manipulate and do whatever they want to, that's what they're going to attack first. Because in November, guess what? They look at numbers. They look at who can we get to bail us out of this hole that the superintendent put us in. And so they look at the smaller pool who they think, you know what, well, they're 10% voters of teachers, right? Teachers could 90%, right? So they said, let's not affect the teachers. Let's keep them a little bit happy. But at the same time, what they're going to do is they're going to destroy their insurance.
Yes.
So they're using a balance game. They're using numbers.
It's a wash at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a wash.
It is a wash because, again, guys, te subieron aquí, pero acá en este te bajaron para acá. So at the end of the day, you took home the same or you took home less.
Right.
Bien contentos. Nos dieron $1.
Pero nos dieron 15 horas para trabajar.
Yes. Pues no hiciste nada. I mean, again, the whole theme of this coming back, opening up the economy was we want people to go back to work.
Yep.
BISD doesn't. They know they don't. Guys, look, it's just common sense. Things are going to be different starting next years. The other thing that the couple of things that I want to talk about, and I know we're going deep into time, guys. Do you want us to stop now, or can we continue for a little bit longer? At least 30 more minutes. Is that okay, guys? Folks, can we stay?
Dale.
30 more minutes, guys. I promise. I'm sorry. This is going to be
And that oil tonight.
Carlos. Yesterday they had the insurance committee meeting. Randy, they had the insurance committee meeting,
Randy.
and let me tell you, man, it was a joke. It was a joke, complete joke, and they got to where they put out the numbers, and they finally put the numbers up there, and all of a sudden, Minerva and Philip were indignados, like, what? We're paying a broker? We're paying a broker close to $2 million? Indignados. And now they want to make sure that they get rid of the broker. $2 million. Let's get rid of the broker. Y de repente que salta la Drew. Oh, wait. No. We need the broker. And they try to figure out, well, what does the broker do? And y todos, mira, así, miraban a Frankie, miraban a Carlos, like, you don't know.
Cuckoo.
We just don't know. We don't know what the broker does. But we're sure as heck giving him $2-3 million. You know? So all of a sudden, Drew like, wait, no. And Prissy, wait, no. And Laura, wait, no. Guys, we're going to put up their campaign finance reports. They are full of insurance vendors, insurance agents, attorneys. Carlos, where is the money going?
Not to our employees.
Not to our employees. Not to our employees.
That's who you should be taking care of. Your employees.
Guys. And again, I'm going to say it again. I said it this afternoon. You need a board member on there. You need a board member on there who will fight for you, the employee, for you, the student, and for you, the parents. But you know what we have, Carlos? We got board members that fight for vendors, that fight for the people who put money in their pocket. Is that the way it should be?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is, guys. I mean, we're going to throw out the videos. We're going to throw out the campaign finance reports, guys. Drew was pissed that they wanted to touch the vendor's pocket.
No, it's on my bed.
Away from the vendors.
Yes.
Drew was pissed. Prissy was pissed. Laura was pissed that we were going to take money away from the vendors. Money that should be going to our children, our teachers, our paraprofessionals, our custodians, our food service people,
Your nurses.
our nurses, our counselors. That
Yeah.
money is going to them.
Diagnosticians.
And but Patrick was there. Patrick was at the meeting. Oh, great job, board. Great job. Really, Patrick? Great job. When they're fighting for the vendors. I played it this afternoon. I played the audio from the meeting. The meeting is on the BISD webpage. Great job. You are all of us entertained. I keep it going. But are you entertained?
San Luis.
You just stop yelling my baby in my arms and you keep scaring. Sorry, Luis. No. Oh, Raymond! Such a waste. Yeah, it is a waste. Guys, I lost a lot of weight. But guys, it's a damn shame. A damn shame. I'm trying to catch up to any questions. Ray! 2020.
Also, Erasmo, one of the things that was brought up was that Dustin Garza gave his presentation, and in his presentation we played a clip on our page yesterday, which he stated, he knows certain teachers, he knows who they are and the condition that they're in, and again that leads us to believe, if teachers are sick and they're considered, a high cost to the district, they want to know obviously who they are, and the question is why. Because they want to force them to resign. They want to force their hand to avoid these costs. And again, we have individuals who have pre-existing conditions, who have these health issues, and instead of looking out for their better well-being, they're being singled out, Carlos. They're being singled out, Erasmo, and that's not the way it should be. Right now, during the COVID-19, our insurance is very, very important, and for them to be singling out individuals because they're considered because they have a lot of claims. It's very wrong. It's kind of like, oh, we don't need you, we're just going to cut you off. In my opinion, that's horrible.
It is horrible. They don't know what anyone does. Kat's right. That Laura lady was asking what the librarians do to justify their jobs. What? How could you not know? Guys, and she's right. If she visited schools like Erasmo did, she would know. And you know what, Kat? I know. They're invested in themselves. Kat, I know. Because I would always go to the librarians. They always had these different activities with different groups that would come in. They had the show and tell. They had different educational programs going throughout the day. They had the reading programs. I saw what the librarians do for our children. I saw it firsthand. I would get invited to read to a lot of the students at the different schools in the libraries. Guys, and I'm a reader. I love to read. I don't look at the pictures. I read the columns. Guys, I read. Reading is important. And you don't know what our librarians do to justify their pay? Really, guys? Come on, man. Again, all you would have to do, guys, is it's not rocket science. Go visit with the people that work at the schools, and you'll find out what an amazing job our teachers, people do out there. Rich lives matter, to say Yada. So how much money did Drew Brown, Prissy Rocatipton, Sylvia Atkinson, and Otis Powers get from insurance vendors? Let me tell you. The reports say $120,000.
No.
The reports say $120,000. The true amount of money that they got, easily $250,000. That's estimated because we don't know how much cash money was sent their way. I will say one thing. One of the things that Baltasar Salazar would gloat was how he put $25,000 in Naura's campaign finance report. He would gloat about it. Prissy told me, and this was out of executive session, that Baltasar Salazar had given her $25,000. Do you know that it doesn't appear in any of her reports? $25,000 doesn't appear. Why? Because they get cash money. So in the reports, $120,000 for a non-paying position, guys. Y la Silvia? No, hombre, la Silvia, el gambling. Roll them dice. Yeah. Poker. Blackjack. And our kids with Kajit. Muy apenas. Don't forget about the front. Never, Martha. Let me tell you. Always visit the front yards. Always. And all my front office staff, siempre los saludaba a todos. Perfecto. I appreciate all the work that y'all do. I mean, let me tell you about the front office staff. Carlos knows this too. Front office staff, they have to deal with the parents corrosos que a veces vienen. Gritando. Venga, que mi hijo, el angelito, es el angelito, mi hijo. Y ustedes lo quieren reprobar a el angelito. Let me tell you guys, gosh almighty, They do a heck of a job. Does BIC believe in cutting the schoolyards? They're dinosaur-sized mosquitoes. They don't. Hey guys, hey Kimberly, hope you're doing well, Kimberly. Are you three running for board? I'll give you a couple of guesses. Librarians rocket. Oh yes. Let me tell you, and they always the ones at Pace. I love that little coffee shop that they have, and they have the best snacks. Always have the best snacks. And you know, one of the great things about being a board member is that you always got snacks. I love the snacks. Hey.
Hey, Erasmo, Sylvia gets money. Erasmo Castro gets snacks.
Yeah. Sylvia takes money from vendors. Drew Brown, Prissy Roca Tipton. I just take snacks. It's not bad, no?
No, of course not.
I still remember the librarians back in the day loved visiting with them. Yes. Laura Perez Reyes doesn't care about BIZ because she's leaving. If she wins her position at the district county clerk's office, she's gone, guys. She's not coming back to BISD. She's gone. She doesn't care. Le vale. Someone sent me a message today. They said, Erasmo, why does it? I mean, como que ya no ni lo esconde. Why is she so blatantly out there like le vale, you know? Because she's not coming back. Nothing to lose. She doesn't care if they screw up the teachers' salaries, the counselors. They don't care because you're a smarty pants. That's why. 120,000. What? What 120,000?
Or you said that's what Atkinson got.
Oh, that's
Easy.
a record. Easily. I mean, Celia paid off her gambling that puro poker. and she didn't like for people to poker. Location, Roberta. You know where the house is.
Yeah.
Well, can I say something, guys, real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Say it.
People asked me. They said, asked me. People asked me like, Erasmo, el Bobby Booby Witless. Hey, Erasmo is making an accusation about the gambling. It's not true.
It's true.
And I'm going like, cuando Erasmo dice algo es porque tiene la, I can't remember the phrase, la burra, something.
De la pata.
De las barbas, de los pelos. It's something like that. Guys, and I'll tell you how I find. Does anyone want to know the story how I found out about the gambling houses? I'll tell you.
Tell us.
I'll be real quick. They asked me to post this video up. You know how I post on my page? Oh, someone is trying to break into my house, and they post this video up. And I go like, la mais. So it was a guy that I knew, and I said, sure. So I posted up the video. There was a guy coming into the house. So I put up, hey, does anyone know who this guy is? Oye, de repente, like 5 minutes later, I get a call from the DA's office. And it wasn't because of my DWI. It was because of the video. And they go like, this is many years back. And they go like, sir, do you mind bringing that video down? And I said, sure. Is there an issue? He goes, yeah, that's an officer who was going into the house. And I said, oh, yes, sir. No problem. Yes, sir, officer. And I took it down. Well, I ran into this person. I said, what the hell are you doing, guys? What are y'all doing in there? And they told me, they said, no, it's a gambling house that was being investigated during that time that the DA was out there, you know, las maquinitas and the stuff. This is many years back. So I think it's okay to talk about it. So I said, like, why would you send me that video? He said, well, we were tripping. I go like, no, man, you almost got me in trouble because of that video. And then they said, no, hombre, pues no te imaginas las personas que van. And they mentioned crap loads of people. But the person that they loved the most was Sylvia. Because mentaba los...
She sucks at playing.
And she sucks at playing. Los 2,000, los 1,500, como si nada.
I'm sure BISD employees know that now because there's less money in the coffers because of that.
That's why there's less money in the coffers, guys. And that's how I found out about the gambling. But a lot of people here in Brownsville, they know about it. They know about it. I'm just the only one with the balls to say something about it. Me vale. Erasmo stealing the students. It's going to be on my hate pages now. Headline news: Erasmo eats student snacks.
Yeah.
I do. So she's so ignorant about everything that squeaky voice is so annoying. I know who you're talking about, Juan. You're talking about La Pobre Loud. COVID-19. COVID-16.
Corona.
That's
Corona.
sorry. Estoy solo en la casa. COVID-16. Pace Vikings here. 2013. Chocolate muffin. He knows what he's talking about, bro. Anyway, we're going to dissect. Is she going to prison? Find out.
When is it?
June 8th is the the jury selection. I know some of the bartends at that direction. That's how I know. We all know. Everyone knows about these places, man. Everyone knows. I love that you put everyone on blast. It's my job. I've done it for years. I've gotten pretty good at it too. What is told that she spends about $5,000 on a Friday night and Saturday night. Actually, it used to be here on Thursday night, so they moved it. Pero see, drop a 5,000, drop a 10,000, bro. Como yo tiro los calzones. I did ride share would pick up poker players? Yes, Luis, 100%. The Uber drivers, and the Lyft drivers, they'll tell you. They know. Philip Cowan was praising librarians, but yet he didn't recommend to move them to a different pay scale. Ay, pobre mi flip-flopping Philip. Wow, was my flip-flopping Philip. Flip-flopping Philip, stop it! Guys, one thing's for sure. We need desperate change at BIC. Tomorrow in the morning, later on at night. Who are we having tomorrow night?
Andrea Torres from Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. We'll throw out, we'll edit the videos in regards to the meeting today, and I'll finish with this. Today at the meeting, Carlos's friend, Baltasar, was out there apologizing to little Eddie. I'm sorry that I called you out. And I know that people out there in the community are trying to spin it. And I'm going like, just say my name, bro. Say my name.
Doesn't want to give you the credit.
Just say my name. Because we caught you, bro. And you were out there. You did little Eddie, man. And let me tell you, no one disses little Eddie around here except me. That's my job, bro. So I called Eddie, and I said, I texted him. I said, bro, he's trying to burn you, bro, publicly. So today, Eddie got an apology, and I said, good going, very well deserved. Did he mean it? Of course not. Doesn't care. But Baltasar Salazar is the most powerful person at BISD. The most powerful person at BISD. But I think his days are numbered. I think that they're probably going to talk about it on the June meeting. So, hey, Baltasar Salazar, I guess it might happen that we never get to see each other ever again. We'll see. That dog wants attention.
I mean, he wants his birthday cake. His birthday was yesterday, so we had a little birthday party for him. So we saved his last piece today, so he wants it. So he's making it.
Anything other today, Frankie?
No, it was a great show, Carlos.
I want to, you're doing very well, really, really good. I just want to touch base on what you were talking about.
We have time.
And Frankie hit it right on the spot. They did single out the people who are costing the district the most money. But it's no fault of them. They're sick people, and they should not be treated as the lepers back then and be singled out. And he specifically said that. In not so many words, he said that they're going to single out. They know who they are. They know how much they're costing the district. And it sounded like they were going to be the scapegoats to everybody, saying the reason that we're going to charge the teachers more, the employees, because that's not just teachers, it's all the employees. The administrator making $300,000. I'm talking about superintendent, and the bus driver or the paraprofessionals or the front desk clerks, that are making $8 an hour pay the same amount. But
Yep.
yet you want to still hurt these individuals who must use the insurance because they have no other choice of getting their dialysis. And I know who they're targeting. They're targeting people who are on dialysis. It's a very expensive procedure. It's a
Very.
life-saving procedure. They must have it in order to live. And now you're going to single these individuals out because they're sick. Shame on the district administrators. Shame on the individual who's pushing that, the insurance. And shame that the board members vote on it.
Oh, they're going to
They
vote on it.
let the most sick of the school district because it's no fault of their own that they need dialysis to survive. That is horrible.
It
Back to
is
you.
horrible.
Horrible. That
Well,
is unbelievable.
I'm glad you brought it up because we talked about it this afternoon, but I did want to talk to you about it. You know, one of the things that again, that insurance meeting, man, God, it's horrible, guys. And teachers, uh, librarians, counselors, y'all need to listen to it. Everyone at the district needs to listen to it. Carlos,
Mm.
the superintendent said we have the power to approve or disapprove
Yeah.
if we're going to pay for your care. So you've been paying for your insurance all this time, and si no le caes bien al superintendent, if you actually were opposed to something and you expressed an opinion, and they say, well, we determine, so we're not going to cover your costs. We're not going to accept your claim. We've decided that it's not necessary. It's an elective.
Yeah.
Why are they going to have the power to determine if you need to get a treatment or not?
Hmm.
Why? Why can't they get someone aparte, someone independent, someone apart from the district? Goodness, does anyone want this administration or this board to have the last say if you're going to get treatment or not for your ailment?
Mm.
Really, guys?
Mm.
That's what he said, that it depends on them. The other thing that was very concerning was, yeah, call us up, let us know what's going on. Wait a minute. And someone made the question in regards to HIPAA violation. And Dustin went out and said, well, we're all HIPAA trained. We're all HIPAA certified. It's not true. Not true. He said, me and my office, all of us are HIPAA trained. So I requested today, open record request. I want proof of the certification. And you know what? I'm not going to get it because they're going to send another attorney general report. Carlos, the final word in regards to determining if claims should be paid, should go forward, be in the hands of administration or the board.
Most definitely not. Because let's say right now, I'm pissing a lot of people off, right? Because we're seeing the truth here. And so let's say my kid, she needs something. She's on the insurance plan, but because she's related to Carlos Elizondo, she's going to get denied the benefits. That is a question that everybody needs to ask themselves. You know, because I said something, because I felt that I needed to expose the truth, that I needed to speak my mind and defend people who don't have the ability to say something because they're scared of their employer. And so I said it for them, and they get upset. They go tell the superintendent, deny the claim if it comes in. Of course, they're not going to be publicly say that, right? But you know what? You don't qualify. Your kid doesn't qualify for that. Just to get back at me. Imagine how many other employees they could do that to.
It's
They
too
should
much.
not have that right.
It's too much power.
They should not have that right. They should not have the right over someone's health to say whether, yay, you're cool, or no, you're not.
Guys, it's bad enough, Carlos. I mean, they have power over our people's salary. It's bad enough. Now they want to have the power over your health, your well-being, maybe even your life. Life. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that they would do that. They just don't care. And again, the the proof is in the pudding. They
I mean,
just don't care.
they said it. They said it in a public venue what their intent was. It's not like you're making it up, Erasmo. You're
No,
just repeating it.
it's on the
So that
meme.
people are aware of what that administration is trying to do to the employees of the school district. And we say the employee, right? But that employee carries a lot of people. Some of these teachers and paraprofessionals and diagnosticians and counselors, administrators. I mean, just I can go on to all the employees, bus drivers, FNS employees. How many of these individuals are there not because of the pay? They're there
Yeah.
because of that insurance. And now
Yes.
you want them to pay more into it? You want them to get less benefit out of it? Because they'll tell you, well, it's all right. You can choose to pay for it or not.
Why do they have that control? Because it's a self-funded insurance. They fund their own insurance. The employees fund their own insurance. That's why they have so much control. No, y no nomás eso, Leticia. They want to just end the employee benefits committee. They want to end it. They want to end the group that actually expresses concerns to the board and to administration in
Well,
regards to what they want for their insurance.
you're right, and Erasmo, and you're correct. They did mention it. I heard him say the employee benefits committee doesn't mean that they have to take their advice. That's a school board function to accept their advice or not. The guy running the insurance specifically said that they can come here and the employee benefits committee can say, you know what, we want this and this and this and this, and the board can say no.
Y se fregaron.
What is it? What is the EBC for then?
Para nada. Because,
For nothing.
again,
Unless they're going to take their advice and do what that majority of the committee that represents all employees of the school district and take it to heart and push it through. Louis is asking, so will a new board look at getting a different insurance? If that's what the EBC thinks they need to do, and it's going to benefit the employees, yes, of course. I think that that's what they should do. That's one of the reasons a lot of people have a job, because of the benefits.
yes.
Insurance is a benefit.
And I'll answer your question, Louis. So will a new board look at getting a different insurance? Well, my response is don't vote for anyone who wouldn't. Make sure you don't vote for anyone who wouldn't take action.
Right.
Vote for people that are going to be proactive and are going to be fighting. Now, in regards to what Carlos is saying is true. Superintendent said it at the meeting. He said, "We make the last call. The board makes the last call." He said, not making guys. Again, I'm going to say this again, and I've said it before. Someone come out here and tell me that anything that we're saying is not true. I had someone up here, say, "Well, it's not happening here." We addressed it. You're right. It's not happening there because of this situation. We'll address anything. Anything that we're saying that is not true, let us know. We'll retract. But if we're saying it, is because we know it happens. And very easy. Carlos said it. Frankie said it. I said it. When they said voluntary, we laughed. We laughed. And we said, it's not voluntary, folks. It's voluntold.
Right.
And oh my God, the people, oh no, Erasmo, y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong.
There's a question here, Erasmo, and it is super true. And I think we have mentioned it's the one right next to it, that one. I mean, what's your take on that one? I mean, I know what I want to say, but I want to hear what maybe you've heard. You were there last, before me.
Again, as a professional, I cannot have my kids on the insurance. It is the same as what teachers pay. Eva, I'll go back to what Carlos said right now. You got a superintendent that's earning $375,000. You have a prior professional that is earning $1,100. And as Carlos mentioned, they pay
the same.
The same.
Okay.
How is that fair? How is that equitable?
It's not. It's not. They can't afford it.
You can't
Simple as
afford wait,
that.
1,100 dollars a month when I mean you could when you're a single payer you're going to pay 15, but if you want your family on there you have to pay like $600.
I didn't
Why?
think it's.
Se te va todo el cheque. What are you going to live off of?
Go on.
Carlos, your take on it?
I mean, it's that they cannot afford it. They're some of these people are getting minimum wage, and then you're tacking on more that they have to pay out of their pocket. I mean, when is it going to end? And then not only that, let's say the employee. I think the employee is. I think the district covers, right. But in the family plan is super expensive, and now the out of pocket expense, your medications, your deductibles. These people have to actually plan. So they started this savings plan, this medical savings plan that you put, a certain amount of money into I don't know, a gift card or whatever they call it, and that should help you in case you need to use the insurance to be able to pay it off.
Yes.
Well, some of these people don't have that money to be putting in there. They need to go pay bills. They need to go buy groceries. They need to go pay car payments. So for some of these people, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Now, this has a big mouth and a lot to say, but they will never let me sit on a committee. We'll let you sit on a Brownsville Talk show, bro. Come on in, Louis. The water's fine in here. Vente.
Next week, Louis.
Next week, Louis. Hello. Oh, me too. I'll bet you go. The longest Brownsville Talk. Worth it. Love you, Eduardo. VISD needs a new president, vice president, and a new board seat there. Vote all of them out. Yes. Why is minimum wage so minimum in the valley? That's because we've had poor leadership at every single entity. Look at the city's a mess. City commissioners, a mess. County commissioners, nada. We have no leadership, guys. But we have no leadership because you all, the people, y'all keep on voting the same people back in. You've had Minerva there for 12 years. She's worthless. She has no brain cells in her head. I financially supported my mother who refused to quit on her kids, and she couldn't afford surviving off her teacher's pay. They admitted how underpaid certain groups are at BISD. Exactamente. But are they going to do anything substantial about it? And the answer is no, they're not. They'll steal from Paul to pay Mary.
Yeah.
Louis, do it.
What?
Vente, Louis. Next week, Louis. No, they're not. They're not.
You keep putting it wrong.
Carlos, any final words?
Hey, stay safe out there. Let's keep putting the pressure on these individuals to do the right thing.
Frankie?
It seems like if they're only trying to do what's right because they know that November is very near. If it wasn't election season, this would not be at the forefront. Again, we have a board member who's been there for 2 or 3 terms, and this is something that is still coming up. We have bus drivers, we have people at the cafeteria, paraprofessionals who aren't adequately paid. An individual cannot live off of $1,100 a month. We have an insurance problem in the school district that is bleeding our teachers alive. We've had, we've spoken about this time and time again. We've had teachers on here comment saying, "Hey, I pay $400, $500, $600 for insurance." November is coming, guys. Remember us.
I remember. I agree with Agapito, and I've said it many times on the show. Guys, stand up and fight for what's yours. This is your district. It's your community. Fight for it. I mean, take a blow, take a hit, take a fall. Everyone here, all us three have taken hits in life recently. They've come at us one way or another. They've tried to knock us down. They've knocked us down. We dust ourselves off, and we keep on going. We keep on fighting. Guys, I agree with Agapito. Take a hit, but do it for the greater good. Vote them out, Erasmo, Frankie, Carlos for BISD board. Sounds good, guys. I don't know why. It just sounds pretty good. 2-hour show. Now laundry time for me. Yeah, go do laundry. A lavar la ropa, God bless. Son ratos dos patas. Have a great evening. God bless. Take care. Be safe. Hasta mañana, 9 o'clock in the morning. Carlos, thank you, man. God bless.
Guys, see you later. Bye bye.